Somebody lift me up.
Today, ladies and gentlemen, we're in a 2019 Ford Raptor. The last time I drove a Ford Raptor was in Pennsylvania with American Muscle and American Trucks, which was a really good time. I got to do some off-roading and where the Raptor was kind of designed for. So our buddies at Zen Racing had taken this Raptor and decided to make it pretty much the fastest twin turbo Ecoboost Raptor in the world. So this makes 509 wheel horsepower, 709 pound-feet of torque. The Ecoboost motors love torque. It doesn't even matter if it's the 2.3 or the 3.5, all of them love torque. And the twin turbo V6s out of the Ecoboost I've always loved, even since the Taurus SHO, one of my favorite sleeper cars out there. It was big, bloated, and really dumb, but that's why I liked it. But now we're in the Raptor, and the 3.5 motor is a freaking powerhouse of a V6. And it's funny because 10 years ago, you'd be like, you have a V6 truck? Gross. That's not cool. But now it's like, oh, you got the twin turbo Ecoboost? That's rad. What they did with this kit was they developed it over time and they worked with several different companies to try and make this happen. This truck makes more power than most other shops around, which is really cool. But I've never been in something like this because not only does it have the 500 horsepower and the 700 foot-pounds of torque, it also has the 10-speed transmission in it, which before you go, it's an auto, trust me, the 10-speed is freaking incredible. It's in the ZL1, it's in the new Mustang GT, and that's why people are able to do such fast drag times with these 10 speeds, because they just never stop pulling. They just keep pulling, and the higher the gear you are, the harder it pulls. Kind of sort of boost by gear kind of feeling setup. But what's so beautiful about this is that it's stock motor, stock transmission, all that good stuff, stock twin turbo, and it's making this much power out of this truck. So it's the fastest one of those in the entire world. But this has the AFE intake and it has the Corsa Extreme exhaust. Now Corsa, they etched their stuff on the exhaust tips, which is pretty cool. So it gives it a nice clean look. I do love how the new Raptor looks too. It's a super aggressive looking truck. The headlights and everything coming together with the mean grille, they really cleaned up the Raptor. The Raptor still looks like a great truck, but when you see the new Raptor going down the road, it looks 10 times meaner than the old one did. And speaking of that, we all know that the Raptor has great off-road capability. It comes with Fox suspension and all that good stuff. It also has method wheels on it, and I love that they didn't go full brodozer on this car. They're not doing the stretch tires. They're not doing the SEMA truck build, if that makes any sense. But really tasteful wheels that have kind of the bead lock all the way around, along with the tire setup. So it's an extremely easy truck to drive, and it feels pretty normal. I haven't even gotten into boost yet, and I would never know that it's making 500 something horsepower with the torque. And it's interesting because when you think of high torque in a truck, you think diesel, but it's pretty cool driving a truck with this much torque and it still being a gasoline engine. Plus the 3.5 Ecoboost in the Raptor is extremely similar to the one in the Ford GT. So you can't really talk crap because it's a pretty good motor. If you think about it, oh wow, I just realized. So the Ford Lightning motor was kind of a semi-basis for the old Ford GT. So truck motor in a truck, okay, that's kind of cool. So the Lightning motor was very similar to the motor in the old Ford GT. So now the Raptor is very similar to the new Ford GT. So that's a pretty cool thing to think about. The wall valve is very loud. And you have a manual mode as well, where I can have paddles downshift at any moment. But it is funny because I have so many gears. You just never really know what gear you're in until you look down. Wow. That's extremely smooth and super dangerous because I did not know how fast I was going because it was so smooth. It's funny, the first time I ever rode in one of these new Raptors was actually at Clemson at an autocross. And when I rode in it, I was like, wow, this thing pulls really nice. It's very smooth. And it was a Borg Warner truck to go around it and beat on it. And then I realized that Borg Warner actually builds the transfer cases for the all-wheel drive system, so that's pretty cool as well. But the paddles feel very nice. They don't feel super cheap. This interior is one of my favorite things about the car. It has the basically color match to the outside. The seats are very comfortable, and also everything kind of comes together. And the leg room in the back is atrocious. Like, think about getting, I don't know if you guys fly a lot, for example, but if you say you get the upgraded seats, that's what it feels like. You have all the leg room to yourself and you're totally fine, and it's super chill, and you can just sprawl out and it doesn't even matter. You could take a very, very long road trip in a Raptor. However, the car does have a lot of drone, that kind of billowy little V6 sound. I personally like the sound of the V6, but some people might not. People miss the V8 sound, and I totally understand that. I defended the Ford GT's decision to put that motor in there rather than the V8, and a lot of people, you know, had pitchforks and torches, but I felt that it was the stronger option because of the technological advantage. Same with the Raptor. If you have this advantage, you should use it. And a lot of people get kind of sad that they're gonna say, oh, well, the turbos will blow out or something, but honestly, these are pretty stout. But it is interesting though, because the twin turbos on these are very small. They're about the size of the palm of your hand, about that big, but they still make all this power, which is nuts. And this doesn't have the same problem, in my opinion, as say the 2.3 Ecoboost, where it hits super hard down low and then just falls on its face. It's just nothing. It's all torque and then just kind of tapers off, kind of like in the Focus ST, Focus RS, stuff like that. The 3.5 fixes all that, fixes all of it because of the displacement. In fact, side note, they should have put this motor in the new Edge ST. It would have been way cooler and people would have supported it way more. However, with the Ecoboost motor, 500, that's the cap where things start getting unreliable. If you go past 500, you need to start doing a belt motor. But they max out the motor using tuning and their kit, and along with that research, they essentially found out, you know, don't go past this, but the transmission, it's gonna be fine because it's a great transmission. However, the clunks I was talking about earlier, or the kind of the satisfying thunk, they tune that in to give it the maximum reliability and also the max amount of power when you're in manual, because you go higher up in the RPMs in manual. Dude, like the speedo is just going. Easy peasy. Yeah, this transmission is so legit. I know a lot of people are not a fan of autos, but if there's an auto to have, it's this one. See, I could have had a full conversation with you while drinking my Red Bull, while accelerating that fast, because it's that smooth. Okay. So this also has built-in safety measurement. So back there when I did that pull, it was getting a little bit of slippage, and with the traction control, it pulled a little bit of timing and kept me safe, which is really cool. But at the same time, what's great about this package by Zid Racing is that it's completely shippable. You could buy all this with a flash tune and you're done. With the safety measurements in the tune, say you're in California or something and you blow up your truck, that's the last thing you want to happen, obviously. But the good thing is, with all the safety measurements built into the tune, it's not gonna happen. It keeps it reliable, it keeps it safe. And if there's some kind of situation where the motor doesn't like it, it cuts it and it's good. And then you just reset, everything's back to normal. This also has a Turbo Smart blow-off valve, and that's where the beautiful purge is coming from. However, it's not for aesthetics. It's actually because you max out the factory blow-off valves when you're doing something like this. And that becomes a reliability issue later when you're completely capped on that. So you put on the Turbo Smart and you're good to go, not only with reliability, but then it just works better and it sounds cool. So that's a plus. And go! It's such a peculiar sound, but it gets up to speed so fast. But the cool thing about the auto in this is that you never fall out of boost. So it starts freight training right around 3rd to 4th gear, because the first gear, you're like, okay, we're moving along. 2nd gear, moving along. 3rd gear, okay. 4th, 5th, 6th, and plus, you are cooking. And you don't even realize it, and it's this perfect linear needle move of the Speedo. It's not like one of those things where it stops and then goes, then stops, then goes. It just keeps going like this. You know your truck's fast when your RPM needle is similar to your Speedo needle, but it's kind of in sync with each other. So what else is interesting is that this transmission and the factory tune of the Raptor, it comes with a skip shift, wow, it's a tongue twister, a skip shift feature to where if you were to hit it at a certain RPM, it might go from 1st to 3rd, 1st to 4th or whatever, and just skip a few gears because there's so many. But with the tune and the upgraded parts and all that good stuff, that gets rid of that. And that's where a lot of that clunk comes from, to give it a little bit of leeway to make sure it hits each gear properly. So that way you're not just rolling through it too fast. All right, you guys, I want to thank each and every one of you for stopping by and watching this Raptor review. What do you think about this extremely fast Raptor? I know on camera it probably didn't look that fast because of how smooth it was, but trust me, it's very fast. Would you own a Raptor? What do you think of it? Would you go off-roading with it? Would you just drive it as a daily? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. And I upload every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Huge thanks to Zen Racing to let me drive the Raptor, and I will see you guys next time. Take it easy. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.